The sun cast dappled light through the forest, bathing the grove in a serene, golden glow of tranquility. I approached Buddha with a heavy heart, emotions swirling inside like a relentless storm that refused to subside. Buddha sat beneath the Bodhi tree, his presence emanating a profound peace that seemed immune to any worldly suffering. "Master," I began, my voice quivering, "I am consumed by my emotions. They rise like waves and drag me down relentlessly." Buddha opened his eyes slowly, his gaze meeting mine with a compassion so deep it felt like an embrace. "Emotions are natural," Buddha said softly, his voice like the still waters of a lake undisturbed by wind. "They rise within us, like clouds gathering in the sky," he continued, gesturing upward. "But they are impermanent." I struggled to find solace in his words, my turmoil refusing to release its grip despite the wisdom he offered. "Master," I pleaded, "how can I find peace when anger, fear, and sorrow engulf me so completely and unrelentingly?" Buddha motioned for me to sit, his calm demeanor inviting stillness even as my heart raced with despair. "Imagine your mind as a vast lake," Buddha said, his hands mimicking the expanse of water glistening in sunlight. "When a storm comes, the surface of the lake becomes disturbed, its stillness shattered by the wind's force. Yet," he continued, "the storm passes, and the lake returns to its natural, serene state, reflecting the world clearly." "Your emotions are the storm," Buddha explained, "temporary disturbances that do not define the true nature of your mind." I listened intently, my breathing slowing as I began to picture the lake, turbulent yet always returning to stillness. "Do not resist your emotions," Buddha said, his tone unwavering. "Observe them, accept their presence, and understand their impermanent nature. Resisting the storm only amplifies its force," he warned. "But watching it without fear allows you to endure its passing." Buddha gestured to the trees surrounding us, their branches swaying gently in the breeze that carried whispers of life. "Look at these trees," he said. "They do not resist the wind, nor do they break under its force. They bend, they sway, they adapt," Buddha continued, his voice filled with reverence for the lessons nature could impart. "You too must learn to bend with your emotions," he said, neither clinging to them nor pushing them away forcefully. "Acceptance is not surrender," he clarified. "It is the understanding that emotions are part of the human experience, fleeting yet impactful." "Gratitude," I repeated, tasting the word as though it carried within it a hidden remedy for my long-suffered ailment. "Reflect on your blessings each day," Buddha instructed, "and you will find the mind redirects from envy to contentment. Observe your emotions without judgment," he advised, "for judgment only adds to the turmoil, creating layers of suffering atop the original pain." "Every emotion holds a message," Buddha explained. "Anger may point to a boundary crossed, fear to a vulnerability, and sorrow to loss. By listening to these messages," he said, "you can respond with wisdom rather than react impulsively, which only fuels the storm further." I nodded slowly, the idea of listening to my emotions rather than fearing them awakening a sense of curiosity within me. "But what of ambition?" I asked. "Does not ambition fuel growth, urging us to strive for greater heights?" "Ambition unbalanced by wisdom becomes poison," Buddha said. "Balanced, it becomes the vehicle that carries you forward without harm." His words painted vivid imagery within my mind, guiding me as though illuminating hidden paths of thought I had never walked. "To manage the fire, you must stop adding fuel," Buddha advised, "and provide space for it to burn itself out naturally. Breathing is your ally," he continued. "A slow, deep breath can calm the flames, creating space between you and your emotions." Buddha closed his eyes briefly, demonstrating a breath so deliberate and deep it seemed to draw the entire forest closer. "Breathing mindfully anchors you, he said, allowing you to witness the fire without becoming consumed by it or losing control. I imitated his breath, feeling the air fill my lungs, cool and steady, as if I were quenching the fire within. Master, I ventured. What if the emotions return, like waves that refuse to cease crashing upon the shore of my soul? Buddha opened his eyes, his gaze carrying the weight of countless teachings yet tempered with infinite understanding and compassion. Emotions may return, he acknowledged. But remember, they are not who you are. They are visitors passing through your mind. You have the power, Buddha said, to decide whether to welcome them briefly or allow them to overstay and take control. Through mindfulness, he added, you cultivate the ability to see your emotions clearly, understanding their origins and guiding their influence. Practice is key, Buddha reminded me. Just as the trees have weathered countless storms, you too can build resilience over time. Blessed One, she said, her voice trembling, our fields have dried, our children hunger, and we see no hope for tomorrow. The Buddha nodded solemnly and said, bring your fellow villagers here, and we shall begin to seek a path forward. Soon, the villagers gathered, their weary faces forming a sea of desperation, each looking to the Buddha for solace and wisdom. The Buddha turned to his disciples, selecting Sariputta, Ananda, and myself, entrusting each of us with a task. Remember, Buddha said, his tone imbued with a warmth that carried through the forest. You are not your emotions. My dear disciple, you are the observer, the witness, the stillness beneath the storm, he concluded, his words a beacon of hope and clarity. I bowed deeply, my gratitude immeasurable, the once relentless storm within beginning to transform into a calm I had never known. The forest embraced us, the leaves rustling softly as if nature itself bore witness to the transformative power of Buddha's wisdom. Lastly, Buddha said, turning to me, find a way to bring comfort to those who feel forgotten in their suffering, uncertain but determined. I wandered through the village, observing the lingering shadows of despair and the silent cries for solace. Buddha sat beneath the shade of the Bodhi tree, his posture emanating stillness like a pond untouched by falling leaves. Master, I began, my voice steady, yet burdened by inquiry. I observe emotions, but struggle to discern their deepest origins. Buddha lifted his gaze to mine, his eyes reflecting compassion and understanding as he prepared to untangle my perplexing thoughts. Emotions arise from the dual forces of attachment and aversion, he said, his words revealing a balance that framed human experience. When we cling to desires or resist fears, we nourish the roots from which emotional turmoil springs, binding us to suffering. I tilted my head slightly, absorbing his wisdom while questioning my tendencies to hold on to fleeting joys and resist impending struggles. Buddha gathered a handful of soil and let it spill from his palm, each grain falling as if illustrating transient impermanence. This soil nourishes the seeds placed within it, Buddha explained, just as your attachments and aversions fuel the growth of emotions. Master, I asked hesitantly, how can I loosen the grip of these forces that bind my spirit and provoke ceaseless disturbances? Awareness is the key, Buddha responded, his tone calm yet resolute. To see the roots of attachment and aversion with clarity, by identifying the seeds within your mind, Buddha continued, you can decide whether to nurture them or release them completely. The disciples gathered closer, their faces intent, embodying minds as eager as mine to unravel the source of emotional suffering. Reflect on your desires and fears, Buddha urged. Ask yourself, what am I clinging to? What am I desperately avoiding? Every attachment and aversion holds lessons, Buddha stated, but too tightly embraced, they transform into chains constraining your freedom. But blessed one, I asked, Was my contribution enough when compared to the practical guidance and inspiring stories of Sariputta and Ananda? Tell me, the Buddha replied. Does the rain compare itself to the sun? Or does it simply quench the earth's thirst? The rain does not compare, I answered. It fulfills its purpose, nourishing life in its own way. Exactly, Buddha said. Each of you brought light to this village. And together, you have eased the burden of these people. Meditation becomes your ally, Buddha began. It provides space to observe without judgment, and to let go without needless struggle. When you meditate, Buddha instructed, you create a mirror reflecting your inner thoughts, fears, and desires with unfiltered honesty and clarity. Through meditation, he continued, you unearth insights into your attachments and aversions, discovering their influence upon your emotions and reactions. I nodded, imagining my meditation practice evolving into a lantern illuminating the roots of turmoil hidden within my subconscious mind. But Master, I questioned, is reflection enough to release these forces when their influence feels overwhelming and insurmountable in daily life? Reflection is not the end, Buddha replied. It is the beginning of understanding which cultivates the wisdom to act with intention. 2. Release attachment and aversion, Buddha explained. You must practice compassion toward yourself and the forces embedded within your heart. Without kindness, he said, efforts to overcome these tendencies only create resistance, strengthening the grip of suffering instead of relieving it. The forest around us felt alive with resonance, the leaves trembling as if affirming Buddha's gentle yet transformative words on acceptance. Be patient with yourself, Buddha advised. Just as nature takes its time to blossom, you too must allow time for growth. Transformation is slow, he reminded me. But every step you take toward awareness and release is a movement toward profound liberation. Among them, an elderly farmer approached, carrying a small clay pot, his steps slow and deliberate, etched with life's burdens. Blessed One, the farmer said, placing the pot before the Buddha, this humble vessel has saved my family during the drought. What if, I asked quietly, attachments and aversions feel too vast to address, like an ocean whose currents sweep me completely? Buddha regarded me with calm resolve, understanding the magnitude of my question and preparing an answer that bridged the weight of oceans. Begin with one current, Buddha said, his voice steady. Focus on one desire or fear and learn to understand its nature. Break down vast emotions into smaller currents, Buddha advised. It is within manageable pieces that clarity emerges and progress becomes possible. I looked up at the sky, its expanse feeling less overwhelming, imagining how small efforts could ripple toward a greater sense of peace. Do you understand, my child? Buddha asked, how this pot's essence mirrors the unique purpose within each of us? I hesitated, my mind grappling with the simplicity and depth of his words. Yearning to comprehend the message fully, Buddha reached for the pot, lifting it gently, as though it held the weight of the universe in its fragile form. Engage with experiences fully, Buddha encouraged, but remember their impermanence, appreciating their beauty without clinging to what cannot remain forever. His teachings felt like threads weaving into the tapestry of my understanding, creating images of a life embraced with mindful balance. I bowed deeply before Buddha, the soil beneath my knees grounding me as his wisdom settled firmly into the roots of my being. The forest remained quiet, bearing witness to the profound truths shared beneath the Bodhi tree and the transformation they inspired within me. By witnessing, he continued, you detach from the thoughts, realizing they are fleeting, like clouds drifting across a vast sky. His words painted vivid images within my mind, each phrase peeling away the layers of doubt that had long enveloped me. Does the sky lament the clouds? Buddha asked. Or does it embrace them, knowing they pass and leave its vastness untouched? It embraces them, I answered. Understanding dawning like the first rays of sunlight breaking through the horizon's veil of darkness. Likewise, Buddha said, your true essence is the sky, boundless and unchanging, untouched by the passing clouds of comparison. He motioned for me to sit beside him, the cool earth grounding me as his presence seemed to calm my racing thoughts. Imagine life as a journey along a winding path, Buddha said, a path that requires attention and care with every step. If you lean too far in one direction, he continued, you risk falling. Just as imbalance disrupts harmony within your life, the disciples gathered, their faces reflecting eagerness to absorb the wisdom unfolding like petals of a lotus in full bloom. Balance begins with acceptance, Buddha said, neither resisting challenges nor clinging to fleeting joys, but embracing all with equanimity. Master, I asked earnestly, how can I accept hardships without losing hope, or embrace joys without fearing their inevitable end? Buddha's smile was gentle as he replied, acceptance does not mean surrender. It means understanding the impermanence of all experiences. Every joy and sorrow is like the seasons, Buddha explained. They arrive and depart, each bringing unique lessons to cherish. He gestured to a fallen leaf, its surface brittle yet still beautiful, a symbol of nature's cycle and life's transient moments. Gratitude, Buddha said, turning to the disciples, is the anchor that steadies the mind amidst the turbulent waves of envy and doubt. Cultivate gratitude daily, he encouraged, for each blessing, each lesson, and each moment that contributes to your journey's unique unfolding. The disciples nodded, their faces reflecting the glow of understanding, as though the Buddha's words had touched a deep, forgotten truth. That which is unadorned, Buddha concluded, like this clay pot, holds the essence of life's wisdom, simplicity, and enduring strength. Consider water, Buddha said. When faced with a rock, it does not stop, it flows around, over, or through it. Obstacles invite creativity and perseverance, he continued, guiding you to adapt and grow. Just as water transforms obstacles into pathways. The poet watched the sand fall, understanding dawning in his eyes. So the present is to be lived, not owned. Balance is achieved by acknowledging emotions without becoming entangled in them, he said. Understanding their messages without losing perspective. Imagine your emotions as waves, Buddha explained. You cannot stop them from rising, but you can choose how to navigate them. With mindfulness, he continued, you can ride the waves, finding calm amidst turbulence, and peace even within the flow of change. I listened, the analogy resonating deeply, each word painting a picture of resilience and grace amidst the unpredictable currents of life. Buddha's voice softened as he added, balance does not mean the absence of challenges. It means finding harmony within them. Master, I inquired hesitantly, how do we balance acceptance with effort? Staying present while striving toward meaningful goals and aspirations? Effort and acceptance are not opposing forces, Buddha replied. They are two sides of the same coin that sustain equilibrium. Strive with intention, he advised, but let go of attachment to outcomes, focusing instead on the journey and the lessons it offers. He pointed to the path that wound through the forest, its twists and turns mirroring the complexities of life's unfolding journey. Walking this path requires balance, Buddha said, placing one step before the other, adjusting to its challenges with grace and awareness. Each step, whether easy or difficult, contributes to your growth, he continued. Every effort you make becomes a part of your story. The disciples nodded in agreement, their expressions reflecting the profound truth of his words, resonating deeply with their own experiences. Balance, Buddha concluded, is not a destination, it is a practice, a way of being that evolves with every moment of life. Master, I asked, what about joy and sorrow? How do we embrace balance when life alternates between these seemingly opposite experiences? Joy and sorrow are threads woven into the fabric of existence, Buddha explained, each enhancing the other and creating the whole. Without sorrow, joy would lose its depth. Without joy, sorrow would overwhelm the spirit, he said. Balance embraces both equally. Imagine the sun and the moon, Buddha continued. One brings light to the day, the other to the night, each essential. His words painted a picture of harmony, the interplay of opposites creating a sense of unity within the duality of life. Balance comes from appreciating this dance, Buddha added, honoring each moment for what it is without clinging or resisting its nature. I bowed deeply, gratitude welling within me as Buddha's teachings illuminated the path toward a life grounded in mindful balance. The forest seemed to echo his wisdom, its gentle rustling a reminder that harmony exists within the interconnected rhythm of all things. Thank you for watching. Buddha's teachings are always with you. Subscribe to our channel and we will see you in the next video.